the fans enjoyed the last episode, and you know what we do? We give the fans everything they want. And this is one of the things they want. And
even the feet pics.
Even the disgusting fans get what they want. You know what I mean? Even the freaks. The freaks got to get a little something.
I feel like even the ones that wanted feet pics, they got them, and they're like, you know what? On second thought,
Well, the voice you heard, ladies and gentlemen, Amin Elhassan, everybody.
Amin, what is good, man?
I've said this on stage. I mean, this is my people's. A lot of people have started like OnlyFans during the pandemic. And someone told me that I could make a lot of money showing pictures of my feet. I said, nah, fam. The only way I make money on OnlyFans if I send people pictures of my feet until they join my OnlyFans. It's got to be a declaration of war.
It's more of a threat,
Yeah.
They've got an Only Feet now. I think it's just like literally all it is. It's an OnlyFans. Like there were people who were joined on OnlyFans, but were so frustrated with all like the boobs and the ass. Like I just want to see feet.
Not niche enough.
Feet. Yeah, like
I'm not trying to see
filter out all
body.
the noise. All of these penises.
You know why I'm
vaginas.
here.
No, I want feet. I want feet.
It's
only.
every day, just boob after boob after boob. I just want to see toes. That's all I came here for.
All right, enough feet talk because we'll get.
Actually, that's why we brought you on. I mean, look at these photos we found. We'll
get to the football a little bit later.
Did you say feet ball? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But let's talk about these NBA finals. We have to.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the Milwaukee Bucks did it as we all expected. Okay. Even us Knicks fans, you know how it was. But no, there's been an interesting thing because I saw this. I saw a bunch of clips. I saw you on Le Batard. You were saying that the Bucks, after they lost those first two to the Suns, that they would not win another game. And they went on and did exactly that 4 times in a row.
The opposite. They did the opposite. They exactly did not lose another game.
Right.
Which, if you look at it, I'm off by a couple of letters. Right? Like everything in that statement was true. It's just you change a WIN to an LOSE and accurate.
Not a big deal.
90% accuracy.
Now that I think about it, you were pretty much dead on. You just missed the bullseye by a smidge.
Semantics. Semantics, guys.
So what happened? I mean, we saw the games, but I know
and to refresh people's memory, Amin used to work for the Suns.
Yes.
So there's
I did. Yeah.
There's some connection here. What do you know? How is this your fault?
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, there's a bunch of people down there who are probably cussing me out because they've complained for years that I'm overly negative in my coverage of the Suns. The Suns don't like me, like as an organization. The people I know there obviously like me. These are my friends. But as an organization, they see me as an irritant and someone who doesn't give them a fair shake, right?
Hey.
And so, and by the way, I don't think that's a fair assessment because they've been awful for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'd never get this idea of people who are awful at winning for whatever the reason and are catching feelings. They're like, oh, how dare he say we were awful? Well, you were awful. What am I supposed to say? You're really good, but next time you'll get them? 10 years they missed the playoffs. That was the second longest streak in the NBA. Well, you guys get it. So they played great this year. They played great in the regular season, but they played great in the playoffs. And I think if you looked at all the playoff teams, they played the most consistently great. Everyone else was kind of up and down. The Suns really didn't have any bad games. They had one in the first round, and they had one in the conference finals. And other than that, they played remarkably consistently on the road, at home. It didn't matter. And so they played the first 2 games, and they outplayed the Bucks thoroughly. Meanwhile, what we know about Milwaukee is, A, their best player is coming off of a crazy injury. I mean, the man's knee looked like an elbow. It was pointing the wrong way. It's like a flamingo, right? And he's 9 days removed from that, or 7 days removed from that. He's playing in these finals. You see the first 2 games, he's moving kind of slow. He played really well in game 2, but still not looking like himself. And then the other thing is everybody else looked like they never played basketball before, at least not with one another. So I'm like, okay, here's this team, the Bucks, who have been bad on the road all playoffs long. here's this team, the Suns, that have been great on the road during the regular season and in the playoffs. And I'm like, okay, why would I believe that Milwaukee's going to make all these changes and get better and play smarter? They haven't done that all playoffs long, not even in the series that they won. Well, of course, there's a couple of things that happen, right? Number one is, I don't think
you said
anyone
something to the contrary, and the universe responds.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. It is my fault. I take full responsibility.
Finally,
for the Suns
we just
losing.
wanted to hear some accountability. That's all.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, here's the funny thing. I have offered myself as human sacrifice now. I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted today.
I did see that. I was going to bring this up.
I will go to Milwaukee. I will sit in one of those carnival like dunk tank things. I want to see if we can get one where people actually have to shoot, because I want to taunt people for not being able to make a jump shot.
Right.
Yes.
And if there's one with a basket where you got to hit the basket, I will sit in that all day long.
Yeah.
I
you
deserve
can sit,
it, man.
sit on the dunk tank while you count when they take a free throw.
Yeah. And if it's Giannis shooting,
the guy shot 17 for 19. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
There's some element of this that we have to say, this is pretty out of the ordinary.
Yeah. No, apparently at home when no one's counting, he's good. You know?
Well, did you hear this? I saw this on Twitter today. I don't know how true this is. I saw a tweet, and I wish I could credit the person. I do not remember who it was, but they said that apparently when he was training for free throws, what he would do is when he would miss, he would have his girlfriend carrying his baby run laps if he missed a free throw. Do you know any accuracy to that? I have no idea if this is real, but apparently when he saw somebody else suffer, that is what kind of mentally got him to be more successful at free throws.
What?
His girlfriend with a like a 1 or 2 year old baby and is also pregnant, very pregnant right now. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. That didn't happen. If it gets CPS in here, man.
My wife
basketball
would not
player,
sign up
awful
for that.
Dad.
My wife would be like, "Hold on, so you said a joke that didn't hit, and I got to do a lap? You be a better comic. I ain't going running."
Why don't you?
Alexa. she wouldn't do it even childless and with running clothes on and like ready to go like on her morning jog. She wouldn't do that for you.
No, not at all. She wouldn't do that mid-exercise. She's like, you know what? I quit exercising. I'm not doing this for you.
When you look at the 4 games that they won, what was the thing that changed for you? That one thing that was noticeable that the Suns just couldn't come back from?
Was it Portis thinking everybody slapped his mom, so he played out of his mind?
Once a Nick, always a Nick. No, it was absolutely, by game 3, Giannis looked like, what injury?
Yeah.
And that was big because I thought, he wouldn't play the whole finals. I thought he'd come back for some of the finals, but I didn't think he'd play the whole thing. Then when he played the whole thing, I said, okay, he'll play, but he won't look quite like himself. The idea that at some point in this series, Giannis is going to look like he did like at the beginning of the playoffs. Moving and laterally and spin moves and the exaggerated Euro steps. Impossible. I saw that man's knee. I saw what it did. I know it didn't have a tear to it, but I know like how painful and how lingering that injury is and how it's something that you need to be kind of off your feet for it to recover. And for him to jump right back in, I've never seen anything like. I can honestly say I've never seen anything like that in any sport. Someone go through an injury like that where we're like, we might not even see him until 2022.
Yeah.
On the day that happens when we said that. And 9 days later, he's playing in the NBA Finals. And a week or 2 weeks after that, he's hoisting the Finals MVP, not because he was the best player in these finals. He put together one of the greatest performances in the history of NBA Finals. That is insane.
Was that like a Willis Reed moment? Remember, I don't know if you remember, like he came out in the Knicks in the finals and it inspired the Knicks to win the finals, which It was in black and white TV to let you know the last time the Knicks won a finals, by the way. But do you think that's his moment for him? Do you think that there's a legend now? Do you think like he overtakes LeBron as the best player in the league after putting up 50
before you
points?
answer, it was like Technicolor. It wasn't black and white. It wasn't too bad.
No, it was black and white.
They started tinting it. You're right. They started tinting it depending on whose house you were at. Like,
you got a wealthy friend, then you could have seen it in color.
But I want to point this out because I'm sick and tired. I grew up in New York. I'm a Knicks fan. I grew up believing that myth my whole life. Like Willis Reed willed them to. Willis Reed in that Game 7, he hit the first 2 shots. Those are the only 2 shots he hit. He went 2 for 5.
But he played 27
minutes. It wasn't even like he played just those opening quarter, like, guys, I can't go. You take it from here. The guy played 27 minutes out there, missed every other shot after that, grabbed 3 rebounds. One would think you're this big center, at least like a couple would just come to your hands by you standing there. Nope, only 3 rebounds. Meanwhile, poor Walt Clyde Frazier. This man, listen to the stat line.
Written out of
36
history.
points, 19 assists, 7 rebounds, 12 of 17 from the field, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. And for 50 years, pretty much, all he gets to hear about is how Willis Reed helped them. Like, what about me, you bastards?
Yeah,
What about my contributions?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
I'm
that
rhyming
dude
here.
on MSG? That dude play basketball?
The guy wearing a cow suit right this moment.
Yeah, here. Hold on. He was coming fresh to death, coming to the arena, dressed like in a way that nobody else was doing, and he's out here rapping for you. Talk about swishing and dishing.
Yeah.
Doing.
So wait, you're telling
He's
me the
taught me a-
dude
he's
with
taught me a few
the
words.
restaurant on 10th Avenue play basketball?
Yeah.
I've lived my whole life wanting to go to that steakhouse, by the way. I still haven't been.
Bro, the 3 of us got to go.
One day.
Fubo will film it. Come on, it'll be great. Let me ask you, because
Content.
you're also a PSG fan, and they have had one hell of a summer. ESPN listed the best transfer windows, and they're listed at the top. And I just want to list out. First of all, you've sold nobody, so you've got an incredible team. Here's what you brought in. You brought in Donnarumma on a free. Mm-hmm. You've got Hakimi for $66 million. Mm-hmm. You got Danilo Pereira from Porto for 17. You've got Jorginho Wijnaldum dipped, bounce on Barca. And you got Sergio Ramos, who, he's 35, but he's Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos as like not one of your best players is an awesome feeling. And by the way, we're not done yet.
Ooh.
I know you.
Okay.
I know you heard what else is on tap, right?
The only one.
little-
Maybe you tell me. Yeah, because I heard. I think I maybe heard Dybala. Was that right? I don't know if that's right.
Ooh, no.
That would be
I want a
fire.
little Pogba action.
Oh, I did hear this,
Yeah,
actually.
so I have been hearing that.
That's just
Give me
Mino
some
Raiola.
Pogba. No, but I this is the thing. We talked about this last time I was on the concept of a super league, right? Where these teams the ones with all the money ought to just bash heads against each other all the time and keep all the money. Why care about all these other little teams? But I'm telling you, man, there's something about being a super team and then having the other super teams be jealous of you. Like that, it's like you're a super duper team at that point, right?
Yeah.
When
When you're the super team out of the super teams,
yeah,
that's pretty
it's
good.
like it's almost like we got to form our own super league within the super league, right? If there were a super league, we'd form our own super league too above that, where we'd scrimmage against ourselves and put that online and sell TV rights to that.
why is there a booth with bottle service in the Super League? Why is only PSG in there?
Hey, I'm Mike Ryan Ruiz, host of Chelsea Mic'd Up and from the Dan Batard Show, and this was the absolute worst experience I ever had doing anything. Thank you, Cooligans.
Talk to me a little bit. First of all, Pogba, I think, would flourish at PSG. I think that's a move that needs to happen. And I do want to ask, how come there's no like Mino Raiola evil super agents in American sports? How come they're not nearly as publicized?
there are.
I know there are, but they're not like names like they are in soccer.
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus was a guy in NFL football. He's a guy that's known to be kind of like a real son of a bitch, you know, but like a lot of his power was because he had the connection with the University of Miami. He went to Miami and he had the in on all those guys. So for years that was a pipeline. But as Miami has become a weaker program, he's become less relevant. I'm trying to remember the name of Scott Boras in baseball.
Oh yeah.
He's one that everybody hates him, right? Because he's just here for the top dollar and nothing more, nothing less. Basketball really doesn't have the evil agent. We have the evil agency. Some people look at CAA as like overly manipulative and trying to like control things. You know, obviously you guys are Knicks fans. You know this. Like your entire organization is top to bottom CAA people, right? But there's no one guy, I think, that stands out like that, like in that way of being like this evil guy that all fans of all teams hate him because somehow, somewhere, he's broken your heart.
Yeah, he's pretty insane.
It's interesting. Is it maybe because I feel like NBA players, maybe if it's the collective bargaining, maybe it's the union, they seem to have a little bit more autonomy, especially in the last like 15 years, and have more control of their own careers and their own, even with moves, right? And big stars forming their own, super teams. It's interesting too. Like Giannis made that remark after winning, saying, "I won it." And didn't have to go to a super team. I won it the right way.
Say Durant's name, dude. Just say Durant's name.
What do you think the feedback is to that? Because some people have been feeling like this is the new NBA. Go start a strong team and win, because nothing is more important than getting that ring.
Yeah, I would say the new NBA is this. You draft a great player. You have about 7 or 8 years to show him that we have our shit together. We know what we're doing. We're building towards a championship, but most importantly, we are aggressively building towards it, right? We're not like counting, how much does that cost? I don't know. Like you're going for it, right? And for many of the players that switch teams, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, James Harden, their teams showed ineptitude. And at some point you have to say to yourself, how long, what's my responsibility to wait until you figure it out one day? Giannis can say what he said, and we can all do a victory lap with him and say, see, that's how you're supposed to do it, da-da-da. But if Giannis were Damian Lillard's situation, where we got one conference finals appearance and a bunch of knockouts and a bunch of like 6-seed appearances, and not winning a bunch of games like Giannis did the last 3 years, and being a 1, 2, or 3 seed the last 3 years, I'm wondering if Giannis feels the same way, right? When you can feel it's close, it's easier to kind of be patient in a way that Giannis was than someone like Dame, who I believe is like 31, and it's not looking any better. It's like what do we have to look forward to next year if you're Portland? And so I think I love it, because to me, I've always said the NBA needs a better way to hold organizations that are poorly run accountable. I guess they do. It's the idea that like if you're bad, you get a higher pick. To me, sometimes it doesn't sit right, because some of these teams tank, sure, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them actually think they're going to be good. And then the season happens, like, ooh, we're terrible. Yeah. You know what? On second thought, let's play our young guys and start this thing over. Oh, yeah, we meant to tank. We knew it was a plan. And, like, the reality is, no, it wasn't a plan. You thought you were going to be nice, and you ended up being trash. Houston this year, they traded Harden, demanded an all-star in return. They thought they were going to be nice. Yeah. They thought. Like they traded Westbrook for John Wall. They thought they were going to be nice, and it turned out to be trash. Detroit, they went out and signed Jeremy Grant for all this money and Mason Plumlee and all these guys. They thought they were going to be nice, and now they got the number 1 pick because, you look like geniuses, but the reality is that wasn't your plan. Sacramento thought they were going to make the playoffs. Like these bad teams need to be punished, not rewarded for being run poorly. And I think the one part of the NBA that does that is when star players 7 years into their deals or 8 years are like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's really the only way to hold teams accountable without like a relegation. But thank God there is no relegation.
Yep.
Because again, the Knicks last year would have been playing against high schools if there was relegation. That's how far down we would have been. You know what I mean? What do you think of coming up next? Do you think teams like New York can make those advances without giving away the entire everybody but Randall for someone like a Damian Lillard? Do you think they can continue to build through the draft? Do you think the NBA shifted in that direction?
So the Knicks are actually on the right path. They're finally figuring out, like, hey, you want big names to come play for you? It's not enough to say, I'm New York, here's money, right? That's not enough. We've shown that. What you have to do is say, we have an idea. We got a clue of what we're doing. One of the reasons why Durant and Kyrie went to Brooklyn was because Brooklyn, for the years before that, had started being good, despite, by the way, not having any picks, right? They were really down bad, and they found a way to become respectable. Same thing with the Lakers, like getting LeBron. He didn't join the worst team in the league. He joined a team that was starting to move towards respectability. I think the Knicks have taken the massive first step of they're respectable now. Good coach, not a whole lot of craziness in the front office, team that plays hard, defends, and won games and went to the playoffs. And, they didn't do well in the playoffs, but that's enough, right, to show we got this thing headed in the right direction. You got a ton of money right now. The problem is if you're trying to get Damian Lillard says, what's the difference between these two situations?
Right.
What I'm leaving in Portland, what I go to New York. That doesn't really solve my thing. I don't want to come help you guys with a rebuild after I just left this rebuilding situation. So I think what the Knicks have going for them is the cap space to go after free agents. And then if those free agents don't want to come, the cap space to trade for guys that are under contract that may not be happy in their situation. May not be Damian Lillard, but it's some steps that you can take. And so I, for one, if Chris Paul is available and willing and interested, if I'm the Knicks, I go hard, even though he is of an advanced age.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't send the private jet for Chris Paul. You got to send an ambulance just in case. You know what I mean?
but at the same time, you got to look at like what he did. You take Phoenix's season right now in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Of course.
If I told you Chris Paul going to come, take you guys to the finals, but he going to get hurt and play terrible in the last 4 games, and you guys are going to lose, you wouldn't be like, no, I'll take my chances with Elfrid Payton. You'll say, all right, give it to me, and maybe something different happens.
The problem is we don't have a booker. We don't have anyone that can sink that shot when we need it. So we need a shooter. And, I know we're a soccer show, so I'm just going to say right now the Knicks have all that space, just like PSG has all that money. Boom. Brought it back to soccer.
Okay, yeah. I wish the Knicks could have PSG's summer transfer window. You know what I mean?
Does Pogba want to play for the Knicks? Just put it out there. Mino Raiola.
Amin, thank you so much, man. It's always good to get some more insight, some NBA insight on, where obviously this is a soccer show, but we are big NBA fans as well. And the NBA Finals was, I think I don't know what the ratings were for the finals. I heard people were saying because it wasn't the bigger teams that weren't great, but you know what I mean. Look, it was at least entertaining. It was the storyline was the youthful exuberance of Giannis and the sadness of the veteran in Chris Paul, and you got one of those storylines, and we ended up with Giannis winning.
Facebook.
Oh no! At least you didn't call MySpace.
I mean, thank you so much, man. Everybody, make sure you follow Amin on all socials, Darth Amin. And is there anything else you want to plug before we let you go, Amin?
And also, Cinephobe is the podcast. It's me. It's Zach Harper. We watch movies. They're poorly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Try to ascertain whether they are accurately poorly rated or maybe they didn't get a fair shake, like the Knicks. Cinephobe, produced by Anthony Mays. Wherever you get podcasts, Alexis, your open invite is still out there, man, to come join us and review one of these terrible movies. We're in John Travolta month right now.
Dude, I got to. Especially since you said that I'm Gonna Get You Suckers, one of the most underrated films of all time, is one of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, I love that movie,
so
man.
we definitely got to talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest.
All right, everybody, make sure you follow at Fubo Sports on all socials, at Soccer Cooligans. Follow us as well. And subscribe to the Fubo Sports YouTube channel for full episodes and more clips of the show. So let us end the show the way we normally do, as is tradition. So for Amin Elhassan, my name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerrero.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!